Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast brought to you by Ovaltine, the delicious chocolatey drink that you can have anytime. Just mix with milk and you will be enjoying Ovaltine.
Wait, I gotta get milk too? So we're sponsored by milk.
Bitch.
I mean, you can just drink or eat the powder with a spoon. Trust me, I've tried.
Well, you could probably mix it with water.
It's really not as good.
Well, of course it's not, but it's...
That's basic. So that's basically what Yoo-hoo is. It's like chocolate milk that's made with water instead.
Here's the thing. I love Yoo-hoo.
But it's
or
really...
At least,
but
I should say I haven't had it in my adulthood.
I think you'd love it more with
kid.
milk. Anywho, Yoo-hoo.
Any Yoo-hoo.
Ah.
Yeah, welcome to Star to Steer Her By. This is episode 136.
Definitely none of those numbers.
306.
No, there's a 6 and a 3.
Yay.
He was close.
This is episode 106. And my name is Jake, and joining me today are...
312.5, Chris.
Wow. Ames.
Caitlin.
Great intros, guys.
We did.
Gotta hand it to you. You really gave your all on that one.
After 306 episodes, we finally have it nailed.
All right. So on this episode, we will be discussing 2 episodes of Star Trek. Those episodes are Imperfection and Drive. Sound good? You
Sounds
guys down
good.
with that?
That was
Sounds
Great.
right, yeah.
That was the plan.
Great. All right. Now, full disclosure, it's been nearly a week since I've watched these, so can't make no promises about getting details correct. Here we go.
I watched them yesterday, and I also can't make any promises about getting any details correct, so...
I see here from Imperfection that Wizanti or Wyzanti has something to do with it. Adam and Reeby's
The first
people.
scene. It's literally only from the
There
first
you
scene.
go.
Wizante.
So in the first scene of Imperfection, we meet the Wizanti, and then some
And
shit
the Wizuncle.
happens that's imperfect, and there you go.
Yeah, that's what I remember happening, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about
The
right.
introduction was pretty imperfect.
Yeah. But anyway, continuing on. In Imperfection, we say goodbye to our beloved
Oh, yeah.
twins. We'll never hear their sweet voices again.
We barely heard their
Oh,
sweet
no.
voices as it was.
But we also lose Mizadi.
Oh, I liked her.
Who
Damn
we
it.
liked.
Yeah, what
who
the
was
fuck?
The precocious young Borg lass. But yeah, she's gonna go off. She's gonna hang with the twins, and it's gonna be a great old time with the Wizanti people.
What a fucking mistake on her part, frankly.
Seriously.
Yep.
Ugh, she's gonna get bored of them real fucking quick. But back on Voyager, everyone's a little bit sad to see the kids go, not least of which is their surrogate mommy, 7 of 9, who goes ahead and does something that she's not want to do, and that is shed a tear.
Talk to Neelix. Oh, wait.
Which Icheb, who is still hanging around for some reason, is like, "Hey, 7, you're crying. You must be very emotional." And she's like, "No, I do not cry. I am Borg." So she goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "No, you're having an emotional reaction to your the kids that you've been raising for a while leaving." And she's like, "Nope, definitely not." And he does some tests, and he's like, "Okay, fine. Yes, this once, you're right.
As usual, 7 is right.
You are still a cold bitch." Yeah, no, there's something
Even
wrong.
7 couldn't wait to see the back of the fucking twins. Bye.
It turns out her cortical implant, the one thing that you don't want to break down in a Borg, is breaking down.
Shit.
And you know what? They're fresh out of spares. Well, they got some spares, but they're in other people's heads. Doctor's like, "There's nothing I can do. If this thing shuts down, she's just gonna die. She'll just die. Nothing I can do." Tough. And Janeway's like, "I'm not gonna let that happen," in that accent.
What is this Janeway accent? This is a new one.
No, that's exactly how she talks.
"I will not allow this to happen." Is that closer?
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right.
So
almost
they
as good as my Captain Picard.
Nice. So they hatch this plan. They're going to go to the Borg. There's like a Borg graveyard or wasteland or something. There's some Borgs floating around in space, some Borg bits. They go there in the flyer which is just fine, by the way.
It got better.
Yeah, it exploded, but then it got better. But yeah, it's fine. So they just take that tool over to this Borg graveyard, and they're wandering around on this piece of a Borg ship, and they find a dead Borg and steal his brain implant.
But wait, pirates!
But wait, pirates! Or if you ask them, they're a legitimate salvage operation. Nothing to see here, people. But they're like, no, this is our Borg graveyard. Go fuck yourselves. And then they beam away. They punch them in the face and beam away. And really, we never hear from these people again. It's got no bearing on the episode whatsoever.
I liked them.
Didn't have to happen. Just to add like an ounce even of tension in this episode.
Well, otherwise they'd go and steal more cortical implants from everyone else, from all the other corpses. So they got one.
Needless to say, they have this cortical implant, and they try to implant it into 7 of 9, and she promptly dies. And then they end the simulation, and they're like, fuck, this implant's not going to work because it came off of a dead drone, and as soon as the drone dies, they start breaking down, so we can't use this one. It's not going to work. And then 7's like, well, I guess I'll just die. And everyone else is like, I guess so, except for Icheb, who's like, no, you won't die because I did the math. Here's my homework. And it says you can take my cortical brain thing and not die. So everyone's like, no, Icheb, you can't do that. 7's like, no fucking way. I won't accept it. You can't do this. A lot of back and forth, a lot of bullshitting. And in the end, of course, Icheb takes it upon himself to disconnect his cortical brain thingy to prove that he won't die, which he doesn't. He almost does, but he doesn't. And then they swap it. They do the old switcheroo, give 7 his brain device, and he's no worse for the wear. I mean, he's a little worse for the wear because he's, in sick bay for a while, but yeah, he's going to be all right. And that's about it.
And then 7 really
at the very end, 7 does shed another tear for her, a tear of appreciation, I guess, for what Icheb did. But this time it's a real tear and not a malfunction tear. And we can all agree that the real tears are the tears we made along the way.
So the first couple minutes of this episode were the worst fucking thing. Because it was like, hooray! We're losing the horrible twins! Wait! Don't take girl face! Fuck! Voyager gave it and took it away in the same moment. I was livid.
They really did. They also had planned to get rid of, remember that Borg baby that Jake complains about all the time? Mm-hmm. They had planned to also give away the Borg baby, but then I guess they just didn't bother. My guess would be because like having a baby on set is a large complication.
And they lost the doll.
Well, it would have grown up a little bit.
Yeah,
you new doll.
Maybe they could have used its cortical thingamabob.
It had pulled an Alexander and was now being played by a 7-year-old.
Right.
Do young Borgs like lose their baby cortical implant and then another cortical implant grows in behind it?
Oh wow, like a shark's tooth.
Or a human's tooth.
Good point.
I also wondered now that Icheb's is out, what is he going to keep there for his own use?
Yeah, I was going to say that's like the perfect little stash hideaway.
I was going to say Jolly Rancher, but
yeah, it works too.
Yeah,
it's about the right size and shape
He's
to go in there.
He's kind of a goody two shoes, probably keep like an extra pencil or something in there.
Yeah, he's going full Wesley, wants to join the academy.
Yeah, he's going to have a rough time, I think, in the academy.
What is his test going to be with the facing whatever your fear thing is? He's already experienced the worst things that you can. Yeah,
I feel like he just like, you know how you can test out of subjects sometimes?
Yeah.
Like they just read his personal history, they get to the part about his parents and they're just like, you know what? You pass. We cannot think of anything worse.
He gets AP credit for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, do you need a hug?
Yes, he does. Because his parents won't give him one. They'll kill him instead.
They would hug him just so he wouldn't see them putting the, knockout hypo spray to his neck.
Oh,
right.
Man.
His parents fucking suck.
Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so the whole thing about this episode, right? The bad thing is that we need to get this cortical implant and we can't use one from a dead drone because it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The only other drone we have left, because we conveniently got rid of 3 other drones. We only have one spare. But now that I'm thinking of it, weren't Tuvok, Janeway, and Torres Borgs like last week?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Didn't the doctor have to take their shit out?
Maybe they'd been all out too long already.
Maybe.
The implants, I mean. Also, maybe, because that's a lot more complicated, maybe the cortical implants get put in later in the process.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. Like, it didn't
weren't
seem
assimilated
long.
terribly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how they...
That cortical implant goes deep.
Yes, it does. It is very unsettling to look at.
Yeah, there is
effect
no
was
brain
pretty
in
good.
there.
Yeah, they did a great job with the effect.
Yeah.
They did.
And I thought that her makeup looked fantastic as well. Like, all the,
Oh, yeah.
like the splitting
when
of
her
her
skin was peeling
where there
off.
was...
Yeah.
Yeah, all
I
the
thought that
Borg
looked
stuff.
fantastic. I was really impressed. I know I'm not the show's esthetician. I can't even say it. I usually rely on Chris to notice the aesthetics, is what I'm saying. But in this one case, I thought that shit looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even do those shots where it's supposed to be something going in and out of your skull?
I don't know, but I bet Jake does.
I don't. I mean, I imagine it was like a CG effect or possibly a compositing thing. But the thing is, the thing that was really impressive to me was that, you know, there's like a little animation of it opening up and then it pops out the little cylinder. And then we see a hand come in with like a tweezer and pull it the rest of the way out. So like, I imagine like maybe it was a composite where like the hand coming in and pulling the thing out. But I don't know. I was just very impressed. It looked really
it
good.
looks really, really good.
Yeah.
I love how you were like, I don't really know, but here's a totally valid
theory.
explanation
Well, I mean,
of how it could have gone.
I couldn't make that. You know, I was impressed with, you know, the circa 2000 visual effects.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
even
good.
for...
Unlike the next episode where, I know not to jump ahead, but like the ships all looked like fucking trash.
So actually, though, speaking briefly of the next one, were these originally supposed to air in opposite order?
Yeah, there's a weird thing about these because, you know, suddenly the flyer is back and no one comments on it, whilst in the next episode, it's like we're still testing out the flyer.
Yeah.
But also, so I noticed on Memory Alpha, they specifically mentioned that this episode's star date would put it between Drive and a future episode. So it looks like it should be happening after. And also, and I didn't notice this, but I wrote it down because this was, again, from a week ago, Paris is wearing a wedding ring.
Oh, is he? So
holy
it
shit.
definitely aired out of order then.
Yeah, so
Wow.
for some reason, I don't know why not swap them to the right order. Like, there's no like thread between them.
Some mucky muck decided they'd rather start with this story for some reason.
Maybe.
And, you know.
Yeah.
But,
Well, they had already fucked with Seven so much emotionally. They figured finish that off strong and then move on to B'Elanna making bad choices.
But
I mean,
so
the production numbers, I'm just looking at them on Memory Alpha, and the production numbers are Imperfection followed by Drive. So I wonder...
weird.
So obviously, this one was definitely produced before Drive, and I wonder if somebody just fucked up and forgot when they were airing them.
Yeah,
that they
or
wanted
like
them
the
to go
writers,
other way.
the writers didn't talk or something, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and then the flyer is going to be back. Oh yeah, which episode's that happening in? And they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just have the flyer be back."
Yeah.
What should Tom be wearing on his hand?
But yeah, so I mean, this is the first look we get at the, I guess, second Delta Flyer, or reconstructed whatever, and there's a bunch of, depending on the angle, red, burnt orange, or kind of brown trim everywhere now.
Oh, I didn't notice. This is on the interior?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's a
zhuzhed
bit,
it up a bit.
Yeah, it's a little more colorful. They pulled a, kind of like how the railing from the original Enterprise went from black in the cage to red in Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Well, didn't the second Defiant got like a coat of purple paint or something on the bridge? I feel like it got more purpley.
It got something. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, that's how you know it's the new one. There's a lot more colors. And did Tom change the controls? Did it always have that weird double joystick thing? And I just never noticed.
I don't pay that much attention.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It definitely struck me that it was fucking stupid, so I'm guessing I had never seen it before, but
It's possible that it was there and just wasn't focused on in previous episodes.
The only thing better than a manual steering column is 2 manual steering columns.
Oh, and now...
he figured, when Riker does it, he has to use 2 hands, if you know what I mean, so he figured he'd have...
But that's not the point of this episode. It's there.
Yeah, I feel like that whole excursion to the Borg graveyard, since it didn't have any bearing on the show,
Nope.
kind of just felt like it was time fill.
Well, it
Yeah,
also
it
gave
really
it gave other characters something to do, because I actually noticed, like, there's no B plot in this episode. All of it is in service of the A plot.
Yeah.
Which means, like, the other characters kind of need to have something to do. So you have the ones that go down onto a, deserted Borg cube to find shit, to give them something to do. And I think the only people who did nothing to very little were Chakotay and Kim, who, for all I know, weren't even in this episode.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing Kim at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Take a second and appreciate that, like, in Unimatrix 1, Janeway was like, I'm going on that Borg cube by myself. Nope, you're gonna take me. And then in this episode, she was like, I'm going on that Borg cube alone. And they're like, nope, you're taking me. And me.
Oh, yeah, that's actually... Chakotay was definitely in this one, because he had the stupidest line...
What was it?
...in the history of Voyager. It's not every day we go chasing after the Borg. Fucking what?
No, you guys do it all the time. It's just your favorite thing.
Whoa, to be fair, it's not every day. It's like twice a week.
Like, did you hit your head out between seasons,
He did.
Chakotay? Like,
He's done a lot of boxing,
True.
That would explain it.
Those repeated head injuries are a real bitch.
But yeah, I don't know. It just... Like, it did just kind of feel like it was either that or they were like, someone was insisting there had to be like at least one action-y scene, because God forbid it just be an emotional arc.
I mean, there were also lots of like cute little vignettes where Seven just talked with people.
Yeah.
And I liked all of those, so.
Yeah, I could have done with more of that you could have put in that, 2 or 3 minutes where we wasted time with pirates.
Yar.
It was a day they didn't have to call Seven in. That's what it was. Otherwise... constant makeup.
True.
Yeah, it probably takes a long time to begin with just to do like all of her little implants, but then to have all this other shit poking
sew
through her
her
skin.
into her costume and...
Yeah. Also, they seem to have slightly changed her wig.
Did they?
It seemed a little like puffier in the back.
Or something. Yeah.
Like even before she was malfunctioning even.
Yeah, there's a great scene in this episode where Seven is trying to convince Janeway to just let her die, it seems, by showing her, like, here's all the people that died on this ship that you didn't give a fuck about. Why do you give a fuck about me? I thought that was an interesting scene.
Oh, yeah, and they name dropped some of the familiar names we've heard, like, Ballard and...
Yeah, I also... Well, I happen
no
to
love
notice...
for Hogan or Suter, though.
Yeah, well, we try to forget Suter.
No, we don't.
Well, I was gonna say Ames doesn't. Suitor is the song that hangs inside Ames' soul forever,
I keep trying to summon his ghost.
Yeah, I
she
noticed...
keeps inviting me to the seances. I don't...
When I watched it and then I looked it up afterward, because I noticed something. I was looking at the list. I'm like, I gotta check this. So I found a screenshot of the list, and half of the names on the list are just characters from the West Wing.
Nice.
Really?
So I think it's just, it's obviously an Easter egg. Yeah, they got Commander J. Bartlett, Commander L. McGarry, Lieutenant Commander T. Ziegler, Lieutenant J. Lyman, Lieutenant S. Seaborn, Ensign Claudia Craig. Yeah. So
That's
I was like,
funny.
Oh, Ensign Charles Young.
I know they definitely pulled stuff like that before. Back in TNG, one of the Borg episodes, they had like a bunch of crew were listed, and it was names of actors who'd played the Doctor from Doctor Who.
Oh, that's cute.
Up to that point.
Mm.
And I'm sure they've done, I know they crew, like show crew, have shown up as crew names before.
all the time.
All the time.
Doctor Who
It
and
does seem
Star
interesting
Trek
that there was like somebody else on the ship that was the rank of commander.
Mm.
And
They're the overnight
seen
cap. Yeah, the overnight captain when Harry isn't there.
There you go.
Maybe that's why Harry had to start being the overnight captain.
Or maybe it's like, like a Beverly Crusher type situation where she's technically a commander but doesn't really do, like she does her doctoring. Maybe he's like a commander of
science.
Science, yeah. Science command.
It is technically a scout and scientific ship first and foremost, so.
Yeah.
I mean, we originally did have a different second in command who was killed day one.
Oh, yeah.
I forget if we wrote his name.
I think we did. But I
Dang.
don't remember it.
Commander.
There's also a different helmsman, the lady that Tom was flirting up.
Of course he was. Yeah, I forgot about that too. And of course, a different physician, obviously.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw the original physician though. If we did, I don't remember it at all.
We might have. I'm not sure. Yeah, if anything, that list was probably a little short considering how many people they lost just in the pilot.
Yeah,
Not pilot, first episode, whatever.
It's just
also
screen
it's
one.
missing a lot of people that we know died.
Yeah, Harry Kim.
Several times.
Yeah, it's just there's a page in this list that's just all Harry Kim.
Harry Kim. She's gonna say, she says Harry Kim like 4 times.
Yep.
Think of everyone else you've lost. Harry Kim.
Yeah.
Harry Kim.
Second only to the page of just Janeways.
I was going to say, I have a feeling one day when we go through like crewman deaths or something for Blogtivity in the future one day, just how many times Janeway dies, I think wins of all the major characters.
It's going to be a tight race between her and O'Brien.
No, it's really not.
But isn't there that one episode where he died like a shitload of times? The
3
weird
times.
Time travel? Only 3? Okay.
Only 3.
Fair enough. Then Coda's going to definitely tip her over the
Coda
edge.
just takes the cake, right? It's hard to catch up from that.
Uh,
I was hoping that when whatever guilt trip that Seven was trying to play there, I was hoping that when she brought up the list, it would just say Tuvix, you bitch, on it.
But I think what was interesting about it, though, is that she did sort of say that the issue was that she felt Janeway wouldn't be able to get over her death as easily because Janeway had taken such a personal interest in her.
Yeah.
Which was a weird sort of roundabout Borgy 70 way of like acknowledging their bond.
Yeah, it's like, Happy Mother's Day. I got you this list of people you've killed.
Would have been really great if on the list, just subtly mixed in with all of them, was Ensign Prick from Good Shepherd.
He's dead now. Janeway has killed him.
Turns out he didn't survive.
Good. Yeah, so in addition to the little scenelet with Janeway, Seven also has a cute little scenelet with B'Elanna talking about, like, do you believe in an afterlife? Because, you know, Klingons, they believe in Stovacor and shit, right? And B'Elanna's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I've been to Klingon hell. It's not as fun as robot hell.
Not as much singing.
So much less.
Yeah, but it made me also think, like, we don't get a ton of scenes between Torres and Seven.
No, that's true.
So it was kind of nice.
We used to, and they were fucking assholes to each other.
Yeah.
Well, more specifically, B'Elanna was an asshole to her all the time.
Yeah, and now B'Elanna's a little bit more of an adult to, you know, interacting with Seven, and it was a cute scene.
Yeah.
Well, but it almost went. Oh no, wait, that's the next episode. Never mind.
We have another one next episode. It's a good week for B'Elanna 7 /
But this one, it was like they were kind of bonding over being annoyed at the Doctor.
Yeah.
Which I felt was like, this makes sense. This is a good moment.
Yeah, Doctor says that Torres gave him the ability to cry so that he could listen to operas. And I'm like, yeah, that tracks. Torres would want more people to cry when she's around.
I feel like
Torres cry? Did she?
One of her 2 eyes does have a tear duct.
There you go.
Because she's half.
It's the human side.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like Casino Royale. She cries blood.
Oh, God.
Blood wine.
Ah.
Stings.
That was interesting, too, when the Doctor finally found her in engineering. They did this interesting thing where they kept shooting him from as though, like it wasn't Seven's perspective because he was looking at her, like, off to the left. But the shot
when they were
was
looking
still
up
from
and down.
above.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting choice. And I was like, this is interesting. And then, he threw the thing up to her. And again, you don't often see, like, not TV standard shots in Treks, so it always kind of stands out when they do it.
Yeah, it actually looked a little weird, the shot looking down at the Doctor. It reminded me, for some reason, or not for some reason, for obvious reasons, it reminded me of the shot. Remember very early on when there was a malfunction on the ship and the Doctor was shrinking?
Yep.
And there was a shot of him shrunk down in his chair.
Yep.
It reminded me of that shot for some reason.
Yeah, I get it.
It had sort of a weird foreshortening thing.
Yeah.
This looked better than that did, because with that I feel like he's kind of squished him in Photoshop or whatever the TV 90s equivalent was. And
Paint. In an MS Paint.
Dude, I still use MS Paint all the time.
Yeah, who doesn't? For sure.
It was also quite cute when Neelix played Caddiscot with Seven, and they did a little reverse psychology thing, like, oh yeah, don't play Caddiscot with Seven. She's too weak and feeble for it right now. She needs to what word am I looking for? resuscitate.
Regenerate.
Rest.
Yeah.
Regenerate.
And then she says, no, I will play Caddiscut with you. Okay.
I know exactly what you're doing, but it still annoys me, so I'm going to give in.
Yeah, Neelix is a good guy.
He is. I feel like he didn't get to do a lot recently either. And again, we get kind of 2 weeks in a row again with him, too.
Yeah.
Getting a Neelix all around here.
The further into this we get, the more I'm like, all right, I like Neelix.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think what we actually kind of missed in this episode was any Naomi Wildman.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Just from a Seven's character perspective.
Yeah, they're buddies.
You're very right.
Yeah.
Well, she already lost her... Oh, no, wait. She already almost lost her mom. You feel like maybe you don't want to put her through more of that.
Well, I mean, technically, she did. Because this is the duplicate Naomi that came over with the duplicate Harry.
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, one of the times Harry died.
That Harry. He's always dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we also didn't see Naomi say goodbye to the dronelings, so...
No, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
lack of Naomi this week.
That happened off screen. Yes, there we go.
That's what happened. Yeah, maybe instead of the pirate scene, they could have had a Naomi scene.
Yeah.
Things we never thought we'd hear Ames say.
Mm.
Well, these are decent kids, so these are not shit kids.
Like the
no,
twins.
That's true. These are good. These are good
Yeah,
kids.
they're gone now.
Thank goodness.
Thank God. Like, I feel like they had the right idea. Just don't let them talk. But then they fucked it up by being like, but what if we let them talk?
It's weird if they never talk.
No, it's perfect if they never talk. They're really bad at it.
Why couldn't they be a species with no mouths?
Or they just, they just telepathic at each other, like the Binars.
Or like all twins.
And then, Ikeb, Icheb. Fuck, why am I so bad at this boy's name? Icheb. Icheb there fucking doing some, 19th century physician style shit on himself.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Like, you won't let me test on somebody else? All right, then, I'll just do it to myself.
I had a horrible flashback to that time that I watched part of Nip Tuck.
Oh,
when
no.
I was in high school, and one of the plastic surgeon's kids tries to circumcise himself.
Oh, God, no.
Why is that in an episode of a show?
It was a
Is it a
drama.
warning? Is it like a warning to people out there?
I mean, I think it's a thing people attempt.
Ow!
Yeah, well, I didn't say it was like a good idea. But when they walked in and he was all fucked up, I was like, oh my God, they're like, oh no, he did it. And I was like, oh my God, he circumcised himself.
Jesus.
You're all welcome.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Cool. Anything else about Imperfection?
There has to be something so we don't move on from that.
You don't want to end on that note?
No.
All right, here's a thing to get us out of that. There was a cute Tuvok line where he says there are approximately 37 drones, and we want to say Tuvok. You mean there are exactly 37 drones? That's not an approximation, dude.
Well,
No, here's what I'm going to think about that though, is that because everything's been destroyed, some of them are invariably in multiple pieces.
Okay.
So
he's rounding
like,
up.
Okay. Yeah, I got 37 distinct Borg signals, but that could be like the same guy 3 times. We don't know.
Yeah, he's like.
It's like when you ask someone for the time and they're like, oh, it's about 11:38, and you're like, no.
Joke's on them. It's actually noon.
Joke's on you. I'm into that shit. Yeah, it was an alright
Cool.
episode.
Yeah, it was
all right.
good. It was a good.
Fine.
It was yet another. Let's watch Seven deal with a crisis.
Yeah.
Which
She's having a rough time.
It does happen quite a lot to the detriment of the rest of the crew, but
Whoops.
Yeah.
I also eat it up, so can't be doing it all wrong.
Yeah, the thing is, I think that Beltran rightly has made complaints about the fact that he doesn't really have anything to do on this show.
Yeah.
But he looks great doing it.
Just like Tawny Madison
anymore.
Yeah, he's the Tawny Madison of Voyager.
Oh man, we just rewatched Galaxy Quest. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's on it. I don't know if it still is, but it was on Pluto TV.
I just listened to the soundtrack today because I'd forgot I apparently at some point bought the record and was like, well, this'll do.
But yeah, so Beltran has complaints, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but by no fault of your own, you got a shit character. Like, they did not write a good character for you. So, which is a shame because the few times that they write an episode with him that's not absolute shit.
He is a good character. They just don't know how to write for him.
He's a good character. He's a good actor. I feel like what was the one?
Jurassic
Distant
Park
Origin.
No. Well, that was that was all right, but that was a good episode. But I don't think it was a great Chakotay episode.
I do.
He had some
it was a
good
great
scenes
episode. I just don't think it was it wasn't really about Chakotay. He was the guy that was there.
That's that one where he got naked. I like that one.
No, that was a terrible episode.
Yeah, no, that's the.
I know it's a terrible episode.
the one where he's forced to, or he's manipulated into fighting.
Nemesis.
A war. Nemesis.
Yeah.
That's the one. I think that's a great episode, and he does a great job in it. But speaking of Nemesis and unending wars, there you go.
I'm into both those things.
Yeah. So in Drive, the following episode, we are driving around in the Delta Flyer, the newly, never before seen,
not in no other episodes,
Delta Flyer 2, which I kind of wish they had changed, added that to the model, a 2 or something.
Because Tom totally would have.
Yeah, of course he would. He would have put it in a little script.
Yep.
Just to make it look nicer. But yeah, we're tooling around. We're doing a little shakedown cruise in the Delta Flyer, getting all the kinks worked out. And it's Tom and his significant other, Harry Kim, flying around. And they're just goofing off, and another ship pulls up, and they're like, "Hey, other ship, what's up?" And the other ship, and it's a lady, and she says, "Hey boys, you got a pretty nice ship there. You want to take it for a little race?" And Kim's like, "No, this ship is brand new. We don't want to scratch the paint." And Tom's like, "Fuck yeah, I want to race."
That 2 might fall off. It's just a decal.
Yeah, so they race this other ship, and then we meet the pilot. It's Torres, not.
Yep.
It's Arena.
No, she was the first Torres, right?
She was Zial number 1.
Okay. Zial number 1, Delta Flyer number 2.
Number 2. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Indiscretion.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in much less makeup now, because she's just playing basically a human with weird ears.
Like they all do. Or forehead. Yeah. It's either ears or forehead.
So yeah, and she's like, "Yeah, you got an awesome ship. I got an awesome ship. Why don't we there's this really cool race coming up to celebrate the end of this war that my people had. So why don't you, take your ship and join the race? It'll be fun." And Tom's like, "Captain, please, can I be in the race?" And Janeway, uncharacteristically, is like, "Yeah, let's do this really fucking crazy thing for no reason." So yeah, they agree to join the race. Oh, but of course, the race is the same day as this big holodeck vacation that B'Elanna's been planning for weeks. Bargaining, trading holodeck time. She steals the doctor's tea time at Pebble Beach or whatever.
Fuck that.
But she has scrounged up just enough holodeck hours to do this amazing getaway, and then Tom is like, "I'm gonna go do a race with Harry." And there's a sad, and B'Elanna has a sad, and then they have a little fight, kind of fight, and B'Elanna's like, she's like, "You know what? I'm gonna break up with this guy, dump his ass. You know what? Fuck him."
So close to getting it.
Yeah. And then she decides, long story short, you know what? We'll give it another shot. But you know what, Harry? You're not going on the race. I'm going on the race. I'm going to be the co-pilot.
Now, Seven is the one that put this idea in her head.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she had a nice 7 of 9 chat.
Yeah, it was the Torres 7 chat. I still ship them. Damn it.
So B'Elanna joins the race. Meanwhile, we've met Bashir's dad is here, and he's like the ambassador who's kind of running this whole race. And he's like, it's going to be great. There's going to be peace, and everyone's going to be happy, and we're going to fly around and do a race.
I believe it. I believe it when he says it.
Yeah. So for some reason, they were orchestrating this whole race from Voyager. I think there was people were complaining about partisan shit.
Oh, yeah. Neutral ground, all this thing.
Yeah. So they end up making Voyager the home base for the race because, of course. And then there's this race, and it's just a race. But partway through, there's some sabotage. And Irina's ship, her co-pilot gets killed because there's like...
I think he's fine.
He's severely injured.
Oh, he's just injured? Okay. Well, in any case, he can't race because he's been blowed up partially. So who steps in but Harry Kim, who's not injured yet. So...
And has the super hots for Irina.
Ugh.
Yeah, we're doing this race, and it turns out that the Delta Flyer's doing really well. They're in first place. It's a 3-way race between Irina, the Delta Flyer, and some other guy who looks really evil, so you're going to expect that he's the one doing the sabotage, but turns out that... Oh, and then we find out that the Delta Flyer's been sabotaged to make its warp core blast off as soon as they reach the finish line. So Tom and B'Elanna have to do some quick thinking to ditch the warp core and not kill everybody. They dump it into like a nebula, which, it's what you do. You get something you need to blow up, throw it in a nebula.
That never goes wrong or creates random life.
Yeah,
some days you can get rid of a bomb.
Aha!
Yeah, always dump it in the nebula. That's what I always just say.
Yep.
Yeah, so they end up not winning the race, the Delta Flyer, but back on Irina's ship, we discover that she's the saboteur. She's actually a partisan, and she wants to kill everybody and reignite the war. And she's going to kill Harry. He narrowly avoids getting his face blasted by an exploding console.
He almost got back on the list again as another Harry death.
Poor guy. So
how do Torres and Paris feel about life?
Yeah, so they have a little heart-to-heart, and then they're like, you know what? Let's get married.
That'll solve our problems.
We're
Tom, what?
Our relationship is hanging on by a thread. I'm a self-absorbed dick. You're great. You're great, B'Elanna, but Tom's a piece of shit. But you know what? You know what solves it? Getting married. So that's what they do.
And you know what they should do after that is they should have a baby, because if there's anything that fixes relationship problems,
well, you try out the marriage thing for a little bit.
I'm watching Chris wince. It's great.
A baby will definitely solve it, and if that doesn't work, buy a boat.
He already has a boat.
That's true. I guess he kind of already does have a boat.
He's doing it all out of order.
Yeah. But yeah, so then we get this final scene where they're just in the Delta Flyer and they've tied cans to the back of it and it says just married, and it's kind of cute but also kind of dopey. Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, but if I was a crewman on the Voyager, I would be like, I am never going in that ship again.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just spent a week or whatever fucking on every surface in it.
Oh, I thought because it was rigged up to blow up.
No, because... I mean, what else were they doing out there?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why you would not just always go to the holodeck for your honeymoons. Like, why? Where are you going in that ship?
That's what the Silverblood thems were gonna do.
Yeah.
So,
but you know what it is? They wanted to do their honeymoon in the holodeck, but because B'Elanna had traded all that holodeck time, she won't have any for years at this point.
Yeah. So, Jake, I gotta ask. What do you hate more? Data's plastic symbols from Nemesis, or everything the Doctor had for golf?
Oh God, his space golf club
and the glowing ball.
Yep.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I hated that exact so much. Thought. I was like, oh, it's space golf.
What the fuck? And what's weird is it wasn't even the strangest thing about the putter was that it wasn't even a Star Trek aesthetic. It felt like it was out of fucking Fallout.
Yeah, it kind of had like a Art Deco.
Well, yeah, like what the 50s thought the future was gonna look like, not Star Trek. What the fuck was? I hated it so much.
Yeah, it was pretty awful. I mean, nothing's gonna top the green plastic symbol. But yeah, the glowing green golf club or golf ball. That comes very close.
Yeah.
I will say a holodeck is a much better place for a golf course than real fucking life.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it, because it takes
wastes resources.
Yeah,
Here's the thing.
So much space.
The putter isn't really excusable, but at the same time, a putter just needs to be a stick that you hit things with. So if you like that aesthetic, do what makes you happy.
Sure.
I gotta say, though, unlike the green plastic symbol, a glowing green golf ball actually is pretty practical. Because have you ever tried to find a golf ball that's like in the rough?
The idea of a glowing golf ball makes sense, but green's a bad idea because it's just going to blend in with the grass even more.
Maybe it's green when you're in the fairway, and then if you go out of bounds, it turns other colors or starts chirping.
Chirping, yeah.
Maybe why not both?
Yeah.
I mean, I also imagine, in the holodeck, it can be like, holodeck, locate ball.
Yeah.
Actually, in the holodeck, you can just be like, holodeck, relocate me to ball.
Yeah. There's a cool Matrix style effect where everything just swirls around you.
Yep.
Then you do some bullet time.
Yeah.
But with golf balls.
Yeah.
So this is it's funny. It's like I feel like there was some rule at the time where every sci-fi space show had to have a race episode.
Oh, like every show had to have a baseball episode.
Yep, and a boxing episode.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? I mean, do you think? I mean, I know the thing is, this is what 2000, I think.
Yes.
So like. Maybe they knew that Star Wars was going to have the pod race scene, and they were like, we have to do our own race sequence. Like, obviously, that they would have to have started developing it before, because Phantom Menace had only been out since, like, May of the previous year. But there'd already been trailers and shit, and they were just like, we're going to do a race.
Coming.
Yeah, this is October of 2000, so yeah, they had that whole summer to plan and shit.
So it may have actually just been total, like, yeah, fuck it, let's do pod racing.
Yeah.
And also, but I will say, Star Wars did rip them off a little, because this is
glowing
before
golf ball.
Not that, but the interior for some of Arena's ship for some reason gave me big Dexter Jetster's Cafe vibes. Like, I don't know why, but it did.
I didn't take a good enough look.
It definitely had sort of like a pseudo retro 50s thing going on. It felt like.
Yeah, there's a episode of SG-1 that's very similar. And the episode is literally called Space Race.
Good name.
At least
it's a clever name for a space race episode.
Yes.
At least they were honest. It was funny that we had 2 DS9 guests appear in this because at the opening 3.
Yeah, because you'll remember Patrick Kilpatrick, who played Asan, the Imhotep guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they called that race Imhotep. It's very strange to me.
When they said it, I was sure I was mishearing it, but no, I was not. They named him after the mummy.
We've seen a couple times in Trek. He was Reese in the Siege of AR-558.
Oh.
And he was Razik in Initiations.
Oh, look at that. Which
ones were they?
Siege of AR-558 was the one where Nog loses his leg.
Oh, yes, I remember the episode. Which soldier?
He was one of the soldiers.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he was one of the main ones.
Oh, okay.
Because wasn't it Bill Mooney? Wasn't he?
He was Ezri's buddy there.
He was the engineer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a bummer, that episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I thought that name was kind of familiar, but I thought maybe just because it was such a crazy name.
Also, Robert Picardo is famously a guest star from
True.
Deep Space Nine.
But at the opening, when they're racing to the comet, I go to Caitlin, oh, it's good to see the DS9 intro comet still getting work.
He did say that. Can confirm. And I'm the one that caught, well, obviously you guys got it also, but I was the one who was like, feel like I would know this guy if he had a mustache.
The ambassador.
Oh, yes.
Brian George.
Because I was thinking of Babu Bhatt.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he's a character in Seinfeld.
Oh, yes, that one.
Yeah, well, it's fine. We looked him up. He has done a shitload of voice acting, too.
Really?
Like, loads. Yeah.
He's done lots of Batman aims. You should check it out.
No, let's not.
It's interesting. I actually have no idea what his natural accent is, because in Seinfeld, he has like a really kind of cartoonish Middle Eastern, Pakistani sort of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Deep Space Nine, he's got like a...
Cockney-ish.
Oi, governor.
Cockney, lower class British accent. And then in this, he has just like an American accent, more or less.
Antarian.
Yes.
I think when he's...
I remember looking him up before, and I don't remember what he was.
He was born in Jerusalem.
Huh.
But he grew up, it sounds like, in London, but then they moved to Toronto. So
So he's got so all of the accents that he has done are his accent.
Yeah, like he just
fair enough.
He might not have a default at this point in his life.
Yeah,
it's an interesting idea, isn't it?
But yeah, no, he's great. It's always good to see him.
Yeah.
He was fucking foolish this episode, though, because they knew after the co-pilot got partially exploded that there was a sabotage afoot, and he was like, no, we're going to keep doing the race. It's like,
well, I mean,
we're not closing the beach on the 4th of July.
Well, I think it was because it was one of those things where, like, they knew this was a potential thing, but, like, it was one of the, I think it was less that sort of Mayor of Amityville thing and more like, we have to do this symbolic thing. It's important. God damn it. Maybe they're not thinking this through, but, you know, I think he just, for them, you know, it sounds like something that had probably been discussed before it began. Like, do we still want to go through with this? We know there's terrorists out there and et cetera, et cetera. And,
oh, look, there's one right there.
Yeah. It would have been nice if there'd been more racers that we met. Because it was like, it's like, okay, Hassan is too obviously a jerk, so it's gonna have to be Arena.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, it was like, yeah, no, this guy is too obviously just an asshole to actually be the bad guy.
I didn't even think he was necessarily an asshole. I just thought maybe he wasn't that interested in making small talk.
It's fair, and it is Tom.
Yeah.
Pretty underwhelmed this week. I feel like this was sort of an underwhelming week.
I feel like this episode's only purpose was to get B'Elanna and Tom married.
Which I hate. As a decision, I fucking hate it. Like,
it was a bad choice, B'Elanna.
It's a really bad choice because, like, he's not... What was really funny was we're like, watching, and I'm just like... I was like, oh, good. It's gonna be another episode where Tom, like, blows off everything that B'Elanna does, and she just fucking lets him do it as usual. And not only does she just let him do it as usual, then she gets engaged to the fucking guy. I don't know, man. I like B'Elanna. I like B'Elanna too much for this to be her fate.
Yeah, Tom is like the worst man.
No.
And I loved Neelix too, because he was like, does he know how hard you worked? And she's like, no.
I mean, the thing, like, I don't mean he's literally the worst man, but he's like a stereotype of the douchey boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, I'll blow off my girlfriend, but she likes diamonds, so that'll make her happy.
Well, I think
I'll go to Zales or whatever.
Jared,
the thing is, the thing they told us during the fight, which I wish they'd maybe shown us over the years, there's an idea, is that, like, if we'd seen more of their relationship, where, like, Tom is like, oh, well, I don't want to, like, be too whatever, because, you know, you're Klingon, you're not into that stuff, and whatever. And it's like...
But that was also based on an assumption.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't feel like he even knows that that's the case.
Like, because we haven't really been shown, like, I said this at one point last season, where it's like the problem is almost the only time they show us them having a relationship is when there's an issue. It's rarely like, things are great.
Well, they've got Kess and Neelix syndrome. It's like, in the beginning, it was like, oh, he's always jealous. What a fucking dick.
Yeah,
it just feels shades of that. Anyway,
they can't write good relationships on this show.
They did B'Elanna dirty. That's all I'm saying. It's,
and I'm someone who mostly liked the Paris-Torres relationship because, you know, they complemented each other, and there definitely were some good moments throughout that we've seen.
Oh, for sure.
But
they're all coming from her. It's always her being like...
That's true. It's usually from
baby,
her.
I made you a TV. What a great girlfriend I am.
Yeah,
you know?
I made you this gift, and I'm going to have popcorn with you, and now I have to put up with you doing this. But for him to propose to get out of a fight is the worst fucking idea.
I mean, it's very television.
Yeah.
You know, that's such a TV thing, not a character-driven, sensible thing.
I might never have another chance to ask.
It's like fucking, what is it? One of the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels where they get married in the middle of a massive sword fight.
That happens?
Unfortunately, only the first one is actually worth seeing.
True.
Yeah. It's a good thing that this marriage happened in season 7 because it spares us having to see the inevitable divorce.
Wow.
I would probably like that better.
Do you think they're saving that for Lower Decks?
No, I don't think another show would split them up.
No, I know. I was going to say Prodigy at first, but then I was like, they wouldn't do that in Prodigy.
I don't think we'll see these characters again.
I will say, for all its failings, though, I mostly like the flight suits.
Oh, yeah, I like them too.
They were cool, yeah.
Though I will say, Ames, I'm going to steal your line, needed a belt.
Oh, yeah, most things do.
It was a little too much of a line. Like, it needed something to break it up a little.
Yeah, or even like a built-in waistband or something like that.
Something to just kind of... But overall, though, they were very very nice.
Sharp. Torres looked fucking adorable. I think when Tom looks up and, it's not Harry, but it's Torres being his co-pilot, and he says, "What are you doing here?" My immediate response was, "Looking damn fly in this suit."
Yeah, no, he should, like...
That's Tom, why he proposed.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, damn, I gotta wrap this up."
Yeah. She pulled off the suit the best of the three of them. Weirdly, I feel bad for Robert Doug McNeil. I feel like they made his a little too big. So I feel like in order, it was like, it looked best on B'Elanna, then Harry, then him.
I liked it all around.
Oh, yeah, no, it looked good either way.
Now, they didn't show us the wedding. Obviously.
No, that's true.
We just went straight to the post-wedding.
Gross.
But now I'm wondering if they did a traditional Klingon bachelor party, right? Pain sticks.
What did B'Elanna's boob window look like?
That's a really good question. You have to have the traditional Klingon garb. Although I don't think they would have done a Klingon wedding.
No,
B'Elanna.
But even though it wouldn't have been a Klingon wedding, there was at least one or more Klingon dishes inserted into the buffet by Neelix.
Yes.
He definitely would have done that.
Oh, that'd be really sweet. He'd make a great blood wine cake and...
Ugh.
I enjoyed their scene together. Neelix and B'Elanna.
Yeah, Neelix is very strong this week.
Yeah. Like, she knew he was going to try to talk to her the minute she went there.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew, 'cause she really didn't try to fend him off very long. She just couldn't ask him. She had to pretend for a minute that she didn't want to talk, and he had to, oh, my leg, and all that. I liked that back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Neelix was also very fun as the race announcer. I actually rather liked that.
It was a little goofy, but I was okay with it. I think mostly because Ethan Phillips sold it.
Yeah. How unfair was it to pause the race for the injury and just say, "We're going to finish it now," after a day, and pretend you're all in this configuration, right?
Well, I think that happens like when there's a wreck at
in like F1
or NASCAR, they have like the pace car come out and
it seems terribly unfair.
Well,
but everybody stays in the same order.
Isn't that also, like, from necessity, though? Like, I feel like if you're in space, you're not going to necessarily hit all that debris. If you're on a track that is, one surface that everyone has to drive on, you kind of have to clear that shit off.
Yeah, I don't know enough about racing to know, but yeah, it does, like Jake said, seem to kind of be the norm, just that sometimes you kind of, it's like golf, where the guy will put a quarter where his ball is, so it's not in the way of other golfers.
It's not a quarter, it's a ball marker.
Oh, right, that was just a joke in Happy Gilmore.
Wow.
Wasn't it like a cookie or something in Happy Gilmore? And
no, it is a coin, and then Happy's, the coin, it's put there by Enterprise C guy.
Oh.
There.
Well, I was going to say Bob Barker, but that's clearly not who you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the one.
Pieces of shit for breakfast.
Yeah, he puts the quarter down, and then Happy's caddy takes it because he just sees a quarter on the ground. He's like, hey.
Aha. But no, like in my family, like I'm actually like the one person in my family that doesn't like F1 racing because I don't give a shit. And I was just talking with my parents this past week, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, the F1 race such and such is going on," and I'm listening like, "Yep, names I don't know, cars I've never heard of, track I don't give a shit about." And they say, "Yeah," and they had to stop the race because somebody exploded or something. And I
said, like, "You've got my attention."
And I kept thinking, like, yeah, how terribly unfair is it when they have to stop the race? Everybody's, they stay in their order, but now instead of like 100 yards apart, now you're back bumper to bumper again. It's like, this is not the race you were just racing.
It does sort of seem like bullshit when you put it like that.
Yeah.
Like, you're no longer going the speed you were just going at. You have to start back up again.
Plus, you might have had a groove going.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
now your butt itches. It's like, I can't drive with an itchy butt.
Like, I feel like, because again, I also know nothing about racing, but isn't it common that they'll just like pull over and change their tires and
well, that's a pit
like
stop, and that's built into, like, that's something you choose to do. The other cars are still going.
Yeah,
but that's
but
part
if you
of the
do
strategy.
that, so like, Yeah, so if you pull over and get a tire change and have a smoke, the order's going to be all out of whack.
Yeah, but that's kind of part of the strategy of the race. It's not forced upon you by someone else.
Right,
if it doesn't pay off, that was your bad call.
And that's also why you want to have like a super fast pit crew.
Yeah.
Why not just make a car that doesn't need to be tuned up every 100 yards or whatever?
Yes, if only.
Oh, I think the main thing is just the refueling and swapping out the tires because they're about to explode.
Mm.
Yeah, otherwise it's a risk that, you'll have a blowout and take out yourself and everybody around you.
Yeah, because they go through an absurd amount of fuel and tires in a single race.
It's another sport that would be better on the holodeck.
Yeah, well, they are starting to have all electric races.
I've seen that, yeah.
But that doesn't solve the tire problem.
You could use the tires like they use on the Mars rover that don't have aren't filled with air.
Ooh.
That'd be fun.
Until we get hover cars.
Mars rovers race.
That'd be very cute.
Wasn't there like a thing a big deal when Curiosity had traveled like 1 kilometer after 10 years or something?
Mm.
It would be a very slow race.
Mm.
Well, then, you could have gone further, but they're having her stop every so often to just kind of poke in the ground and go, "Hello, Martians."
Yep.
The Martians had to be like, "Don't answer the phone. They'll know we're here."
Yeah, but this one here, this Antarean Transstellar Rally, is a very fast race.
Mm.
So it's 200 billion kilometers, and is it all sublight?
Yes.
Because they don't have warp.
Yep.
And it seems to pass through like however many number of star systems. They go past this weird gravity well thing. I can't wrap my brain around what 200 billion kilometers means.
Couldn't tell you.
How long is this?
Big space number.
Because I think they said somewhere on like the Memory Alpha or something, at whatever speed they're going at, which is still insanely fast, it should take them, I forget if it was like 2 hours or 4 hours, but it was a couple of hours basically at that speed. But when numbers get too big, they might as well all just be infinity to me.
Yeah, that's the thing with space.
Yeah, or numbers, that's the thing with numbers.
That too.
Like when Jake and I are watching like Deal or No Deal, and if it's any number above 100,000, it's like that's a lot of money.
True.
Yeah. So according to Google's conversion that I just did, 2.3 billion kilometers, which is what it was, translates to 127.86 light minutes.
Oh, so it doesn't.
What's that in football fields?
Yes.
Let's see.
This is going to be a giant number.
All right, so it's 2.515
times 10 to the
10
what?
to the times 10 to the let's see. I did it to yards instead of football fields, and then I was trying to do the math.
God.
I'm almost surprised that Google doesn't just have convert to football fields.
Yeah, it doesn't.
As an
but
Easter egg.
Well,
how many Rhode Islands is it?
There's 100 yards
in a football field.
So
minus
that would be
2.
So it's
Divided by
10.515 times 10 to the 12 yards. So I guess it would be 2 less than that. So it'd be 2.515 times 10 to the 10th football fields.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Kapla. So would that how many star systems should that be? 1? Is that 1 star system?
Let's see.
Now we're just doing math. We're the most exciting fucking podcast.
All right, so
nerding out over math.
Okay, well here's the thing. So 2.3 billion kilometers is 15.375 AU, and an AU is the distance, the average distance from the Earth to the Sun.
Yeah.
So it's not even our whole solar system, I don't think.
So they shouldn't be running across all these like phenomena in space that they're navigating around.
Unless, obviously they can choose to be near that wormhole thing. Maybe some of the other obstacles were towed there. Like
how Fry did with the Planet Express ship?
Kinda, but probably less complicated because it wasn't whole, suns. You could totally just, grab some debris and make a little temporary asteroid belt and stuff like that.
So the distance from Pluto to the Sun is 5.9 billion kilometers.
And Pluto is not the edge of the solar system.
No, it's not. No, it's like the start of the end of the solar system. There's way more beyond it, but I feel like people generally think of Pluto as being pretty far out there, but still in the solar system.
How far away is Voyager now?
How many football fields?
Sorry, the probe, not...
Oh, wow.
Shit, I realized, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They think they could squeeze a few more years out of her. They think they've figured out a workaround to get a little more energy out of her batteries.
Voyager 1 distance from Earth is 23.8 billion kilometers.
God damn.
It's way the fuck out there. And Voyager 6 is even farther than that.
True.
Y'all just keep saying huge numbers, and I feel like my brain is like fizzling out.
Well, there's not much else to talk about this episode, so we're filling time.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
We're adding a random B plot to our show.
Yeah.
Speaking of the random B plot, we have the return of horny ass Harry.
Yeah, why?
Which I didn't need. Didn't need it.
I thought we were done with that.
It could have just been him being
than
nice.
Harry ass horny.
Also, I was a little annoyed
Ew.
that when he was bringing up, Harry's bad decisions, he forgot to bring up the wrong Delaney sister.
Yeah.
Bring up all the bad ideas from the past. Bring that one, too. Also, Harry, I don't care what she told you. She was not just friends with her old co-pilot.
Woof.
But she was trying to kill him, so that's why.
Yeah, it was all just a...
scheme. What was her plan gonna be if she hadn't met some random neutral party to drag into the race?
I'm guessing she would have just blown her own self up, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
She's like, oh, great, I don't have to suicide myself. I can just get these bozos to blow up instead.
Yeah, or sabotage something else. She was gonna sabotage no matter what.
Yeah.
Maybe she was gonna sabotage Emotep.
I think this is the episode where we actually saw them. I almost brought them up last episode, but they've decided to give the Delta Flyer extra moving parts.
Oh yeah, that extra impulse drive thingy.
Yeah, it feels very Tom, so I'll give it to them. Speaking of funny little ships.
Thank you for the segue, Chris. We have more funny little ships we're going to talk about in our blogtivity this week, because we're done talking about these funny little ships.
Woo!
So this week, it's going to be another mostly visual week. We're going to be talking about shuttlecraft throughout at least the first couple seasons of the first couple series of Star Trek, because by the time we get to New Trek, I can't keep track, because there's a new fucking ship every day in New Trek. So, if you want to take a look at these ships with us, they're going to be over on our Tumblr. Have a good time looking at ships with us. We're going to go, I think, pretty fast through these because they mostly look pretty similar. All right, so we're going to start with TOS, with one of the most classic-looking shuttlecrafts we see, because we see so fucking much of what the internet tells me is Class F. I have no fucking clue if that's right or not. It's the Galileo, everybody.
Yeah.
It looks like a fucking box. It's a shoebox.
Yeah. Something that I think when you were making the slideshow, I was looking over your shoulder, and the thing that I never realized, or maybe I did and just never noted it, is that the Galileo 7, like the Galileo is Shuttlecraft 7, but it was also the subject in the episode, the Galileo 7, the title of which referred to the 7 people that were trapped on the planet.
Oh my god, I never made that fucking link.
Or like maybe, I don't know, was it... I always assumed it was the people, the title was a reference to the people, but maybe it was just a reference to the number of the shuttle.
I mean, it's probably both, and I never thought about the number of people. Good catch.
Yeah, but that's the first episode where we see this, right?
Is it really?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't have it written down.
Couldn't tell you.
I just know that we see it quite a lot, and then we also see it briefly, minor spoilers, in Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we see every single ship in Lower Decks, because some nerd wants to have every single ship in the background somewhere.
Yeah, she is boxy, but she has some little details that I never really appreciated till looking at photos right now.
Yeah, this little landing strut is kind of cute.
Yeah, and the way it kind of curls up towards the top, I wonder if the idea, not that we ever saw it, is that maybe it can kind of slot into something in the ceiling so you can, like, have one above another.
Oh, these little, okay. Yeah, kind of...
the luggage rack.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, you
it does
stash
feel like
your
you
bike
could maybe
on top.
Yeah, or maybe it's, the idea is you could slot in equipment as need be, kind of like the idea was with the runabout that we never actually saw in the show.
The windshield is pathetic.
Yes.
It's so tiny.
Is it just this one tiny
I think
window?
It's just that. Well,
No,
that's on that one. There's supposed to be. There's three. There's three like small windows in the front.
I think the idea is they can be individually opened and shut.
Mm.
In case there's light glare or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the 60s, I think acceptable.
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, it certainly doesn't hold up today.
She's a boxy girl, but she also kind of sets the template.
Yeah. When Ames was doing her research on this, I was also looking at stuff about this shuttle. So I was still trying to figure out what the title of the episode was referring to. So I was reading about the shuttle, and one of the factoids that I got was the full-scale version of it, the one that they used on the set.
Mm.
So you're familiar with the company AMT? They make, if you don't build plastic models, you probably aren't.
But what does it stand for?
I'm probably American Model something, I would bet, but I don't know.
American Models and Toys, maybe?
Yeah, that actually might be it. But yeah, they're basically a company that makes plastic models, like cars and boats and airplanes. But in the 60s, they really wanted the contract to create model kits for Star Trek.
Yeah, that'd be good to get into. You will make a fucking fortune.
Desilu said, yeah, sure, you can have the contract to build model kits for Star Trek that you can sell. You can, or like specifically the Enterprise and the Klingon ship and, all the ships you see on screen. Like, on one condition, you have to build us a full-scale shuttlecraft for us to use on the show.
Wow.
And they agreed. So the full-scale shuttlecraft set that you see on the show was constructed by the company that makes the little tiny plastic model toys.
Man,
that's pretty great.
How do you go from little to big? They're entirely different forms of art.
I mean, I don't know. I wonder if they just designed it, made the plans for it, and then had it fabricated elsewhere. Because I can't imagine they have the tooling to build something this large if their normal manufacturing lines are building, injection molded pieces of garbage.
Yeah, that is a damn good question.
Yeah, I'm guessing they designed the plans for it and then had it fabricated out of, fiberglass or whatever it's made out of.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Thought so.
Yeah, it's a cool little ship. We're going to jump forward to some ships that we see in TAS.
Oh no, I forgot about this.
Yeah, these are the fun ones actually, because these are the ones that look the most different because they're animated. Yeah. We're going to start with the Aqua Shuttle, which looks like a doorstop. It's very, very short, but long and wedgy.
Yeah.
I feel like it just kind of looks like someone stepped on the shuttlecraft.
It's the shuttlecraft and a speedboat.
Yes.
Got a little drunk one weekend, and here we are.
It's hard to tell, but it's kind of got a catamaran shape.
It does, yeah. It's because it's got the pontoon kind of thing going on.
It still has nacelles, so is she warp capable too?
Well, she can at least go. She flies. She does fly, and she goes underwater. Yeah. And she floats on top of the water. But that's about it.
They made a big deal about having to fucking ocean-proof the Delta Flyer. Meanwhile, we've been able to do this easily since the 23rd century. You ain't so cool, Tom.
Yeah, fuck you, Tom. I'm so sad, because I do like Tom. He's just such a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Sad face. All right, moving forward, we're going to also look at the Copernicus, which we see in the animated series. And it's kind of cute, actually. It's the ship that we see in the Slaver Weapon.
Yeah.
This looks like a station wagon.
Yeah.
The little deflector dish on the front is goofy as shit.
It does. Yeah, it's very silly.
You get the sense early that, just from this shot here of the crew coming out, it's a bigger one. It's probably intended more for, large cargo hauling.
This is the roundabout. This is the original roundabout.
Maybe. Yeah, it seems to have a lot of empty fucking space.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't animate it otherwise.
Well, and it's a little closer, some of the early doodles of the shuttlecraft for TOS were literally just little rocket ships with wings.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
So this is kind of closer to that while still having that kind of boxier thing going on.
Yeah, it's a cute little pointy
thing. I guess that's the advantage of the animated format is that, you don't have to build a fucking model for this.
Yeah.
And, you can you can just draw the Aqua Shuttle. You can just draw this. So you can be a little more creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still not as creative as it could be.
Yeah, I continue to be. It's very disappointing because that was sort of the thing about the animated series it was like, okay, they don't have to worry about a makeup budget or like a set budget. They can just go for it. And they don't. They just made this. Actually, you know what this really looks like? It looks like a sled.
Ooh, a sled. I like that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's got the little skid on the front.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an enclosed ski mobile.
Yes.
It's a luge.
Ooh. We have one more from the animated series to look at. Memory Alpha calls it the heavy shuttle. I think we see this.
It's a chunky boy.
We see this in iMud. Yeah, it is like that other ship we just saw has been just pigging out on ice cream.
I will say, though, the bottom right one, the silhouette there, I feel like some of the, late TNG movie shuttles kind of have that silhouette.
I mean, hell, it kind of looks like the Delta Flyer from being
Actually. Hold on. Wait a minute.
No, we'll see them side by side because, I think there are very significant differences.
Yeah. We just found the secret origin of the Delta Flyer, though.
Ah.
Holy shit. It does look like it could take a bit more of a whooping than the boxier one.
Evidently, the Enterprise had at least 2 of these things, because both number 4 and number 12 are here.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're going to jump to TOS. We have this, the famous travel pod from the motion picture that we have Kirk and Scotty coming to. God damn it.
Hold on, wait, I got to sing that for about 15 minutes.
This one from above looks like a lady's electric razor.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a little thing because it only basically is meant to travel around a space dock and not go very far or very fast.
Yeah, it's basically like the space equivalent of like a dinghy.
I kind of want to, looking at it, I feel like it should make the sound that the Jetsons car makes.
Yes, it should.
Oh my God,
That's exactly what it should do. Also, I never noticed that it is apparently the same pod they're in at the end of Star Trek 4.
Yeah, I was noticing the same, or at least the same number, unless it's, I'm sure it's the same model.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if the intention was that, it's literally the same ship.
Yeah.
Or if there's just like, no, we're not going to repaint the model and change the number.
That's the idea right there.
It's for a 2-second shot.
We have this thing, fuck it. We're not even going to put them in it because it's not a physical thing. We're just going to, take a photo of them, stretch it awkwardly across the windshield.
Do a terrible Photoshop job. Not
so
even
bad.
take it from the proper angle.
Oh, man.
I mean, not that the compositing is much better in the motion picture either.
They get a pass for being however many years earlier.
True. God, they were so in love with the effects shots in that fucking movie.
The effects shots were great.
They were, but they were too damn long.
They were great for their own special.
Enterprise flyby. As much as I love that ship, it's a bit it's too much.
Too much.
All right, we have more to talk about from the films. We have what's called the SD-103, according to wherever the hell I found this thing. I think they also call this the executive shuttle, and it's for shuttling. And it again looks like a wedge you hold your door open with.
NAR, so they get their own little prefix code, no less.
This one also to me looks like an electric razor.
Yeah, it does.
It does have the vents on the back that are clearly taken directly from the old boxy TOS one, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see this being an evolution of the Galileo style, because it's got the little wings.
Yep.
The 3 windows on the front, the 3 windshields.
Oh, yeah, the 3 barely visible windows.
In fact, I wonder if this was more intended to just be that, but, updated.
Yeah, maybe.
And, squashed. More squashed. Yeah, I also don't think we get tons of look at these things, but I found it, so I'm putting it on the Tumblr so you all can look at it.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the Type 4 shuttle. We see a bunch of these. It's the new Galileo. And they look,
and the new Copernicus.
They look pretty similar, actually.
It's like a little blimp.
It's a nice little update. It does look like a little blimp. I like that.
Now, when did we first see these?
I want to say one of the movies.
Star Trek 5,
I want to, yeah, I think 5 sounds right.
Because I was going to say, because these, and I'm sure we'll see them in a bit, but these are the same model as the Enterprise D shuttles.
Oh, you're going to see them. Yep, they're very similar.
Just been repainted to look a little different.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
the fact that they were in 5 makes that make a lot of sense.
I mean, 5, they just reused the Enterprise D corridors and didn't even repaint them.
Yeah,
it's so awkward.
Yep.
Yeah, but I like how very like practical this thing looks. It looks like a little football.
Yep.
The window is more easy to look out of.
It's got the movie era style nacelles and all that.
Oh yeah, I like those.
It's got the little wings.
Yep, little winglets are still there.
Like the hexagon back, that's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you were mentioning the TNG shuttle that we see, the Type 6, I believe. And it looks so similar, but it has more window.
Yeah.
Because now we have side windows, so you can see where you're fucking going ever.
Yeah, but evidently Starfleet used this same basic shuttle design for a long time.
Yeah, but it ain't broke.
Yeah, must have. They just said, you know what we need on this fucking thing? Visibility.
Yeah.
We have so many blind spots. So many. Yeah, but again, still pretty practical. We also have the Type 15 shuttle pod, which is a really short little thing.
It seems impractically tiny. What is the point of this?
It looks
it's
like
barely bigger.
Those little mouse droids that you see in Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it's barely larger than the thing that fucking Scotty shuttled Kirk to the Enterprise on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it one guy, maybe.
This is only used for, you got to get one guy. This is the thing that they blew up, or Kivas Fajo blew up to try and steal data.
Gasp. That dick.
It's like a 2-seater, I just got to go a short distance golf cart.
Yeah, it's really an odd thing.
Yeah, I think the angles of it make it very interesting, though, because it, like it says, it looks like a little computer casing kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you, this one was made to be filmed. It was made to be full size. And it was probably made cheaply out of mostly plywood and fiberglass. And that's why it's so boxy and weird.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Yeah, especially because this was
early. Even the nacelles
early.
are very boxy and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whoever created this thing is so fucking proud of it, I bet. Look at that! All right, what else have we got? We've also got in TNG the Type 6, which, again, very similar to the thing we just saw. I can't even really specify what's different. I think the nacelles are the most different.
I feel like it's a little bit shorter.
It's shorter. The nacelles are now chonk.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, I have the toy of this one.
Oh, do you? Yay. We'll have to play with it.
Yeah, it fits the action figures.
Oh, nice.
You can send them on away missions.
Oh, that's cool. Neato. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about this one because so many of them are very similar until we get to weirder things, such as the Cousteau, the shuttles that we start seeing in some other time in TNG. This one also has 2 variants. It has the super, super long window and the slightly less long window.
One of them looks like a kitchen scale.
Well, the one in your slideshow here at the top middle, it looks like a whale.
Yay!
I was gonna say there's almost one of those kind of little chubby frogs that have butts.
Yeah, from the rear especially. We got some butt in the bottom right hand corner.
Yeah.
I feel like the boys down in Cetacean Ops had something to do with this design.
I don't know. I think the progression is definitely evident because now everything is so rounded compared to the other shuttles, which are a lot more angles and lines. Yeah. These are just curves everywhere. You want to spank that frog's butt.
It's also got the Galaxy-style nacelles now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if this one, though, was ever made in full scale or if it was just models.
That is a good question that I do not have the answer to.
I feel like I can imagine this one would have been difficult to build.
Yeah.
Full scale.
Yeah. Certainly in the photos, it's only ever flying around. We don't see people next to it.
Yeah, true. I don't have the answer, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
All right, we move on to Insurrection, where we have the Type 11 shuttle that Picard chases Data around in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cute little pointy thing. It looks like a shark.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
very sleek.
Yeah, it looks like it goes with the Enterprise E.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All part of the same design team there.
Yeah, they're family.
Mm-hmm.
Big shark and little shark.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. I like how flat it is, too. It looks fast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we also have the captain's yacht, which is a fucking whale of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like when it's fit inside, the cells must be tucked in or something, and then they can pop out.
Yeah, I think when
like your side view mirrors on your car.
Yeah. They'd always had I think they'd had the idea of a captain's yacht as far back as TNG. They just never used it.
Yeah, I think there's even space in the model for it to live or something, but we never see it. But this one we do see.
Such a weird thing. Like, what is the practical purpose of the captain's yacht versus just having shuttles?
Maybe if you have a fancy ambassador who you need to bring somewhere. But yeah, every time we see them with a fancy ambassador, they never use it. So I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference between this and a shuttle? How fucking big it is? Where it's kept on the ship?
Maybe it has longer range.
I mean, I like the idea of the Enterprise having a larger, almost like a tender, right? Like another smaller ship that is just kind of with it.
Tender?
Yeah, like in
chicken tender?
Yes, a chicken tender. No, for sailing or I guess any vessel, big ships will often have smaller ships that are kind of are used to ferry people from shore. A good example is the Titanic, right? Massive ship. There weren't a lot of docks that were big enough to accommodate it. So if you needed to get people on board, you couldn't always just, pull up to the dock. So you'd have the tender, which is a smaller ship that you'd pull up to the dock. People would load onto the tender, and then the tender would go out to Titanic.
Okay. And the tender was part of Titanic then?
No, it's a separate ship.
Oh, it just lives at the shore? I
think in that case it does, but a lot of time, big ships will have a tender that's almost like a shuttle.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, it's a thing that doesn't make sense in a world with transporters.
No, it doesn't at all.
It has its roots in a real thing, but it's obsolete.
Yeah. Fun fact that the Titanic's tender is still afloat in Belfast, and you can go tour it.
Oh wow!
Neat. Oh,
and it's funny because it looks like the Titanic. It's just a little Titanic.
Aw, cute.
It's a museum.
I mean, tragic but cute. Yeah. So this thing, I think it's just like a big nose. It looks like a schnoz of a ship.
Appropriate for Picard.
Aww.
All right.
With the 3 windows, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In Nemesis, we have the Argo, which is the thing we take down to intimidate
a
primitive society for reasons. And Jesus Christ, this fucking thing. It's full of dune buggies.
It's just a cart around this stupid dune buggy.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Does Argo stand for something?
Argo is the ship that Jason shipped on in Greek mythology.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason
and the Argonauts.
It's not like advanced reconnaissance and
go there.
Fast
over
something.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I hate it.
Yeah, this one's, it looks like it's trying to be a fighter plane.
It's very aggressive.
Yeah.
It's
There's
mad
something
at
about
you.
it that doesn't look like we're just shuttling people. It looks like we're here to be imposing too.
It's extreme sports as interpreted by Starfleet.
I do think it's kind of neat though that when it lands, the wings fold up.
Yeah.
And the little flappies fold down.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
True. Although apparently it has its name on the side and on the wings, so you can always see its name.
Yep, it's like branding.
Know. How would you know you're on the Argo?
It's true. Well, if you have 2 of those shuttles at once in the same place, you don't get on the wrong one.
They'd have different names.
It's also got the integrated nacelle look, like the like the
Defiant has.
The Defiant, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know they have different names, but I mean, it's like if the wings hid the name and there were 2 next to each other, it's like, shit, which one's the Argo and which one's the Odysseus's ship name that I don't know? Fuck.
The Penelope. I don't know.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, the Argo. It's here. It's fine.
Maybe I'd dislike it less if I didn't know it was
from Nemesis.
Well, and to car around that
dune buggies.
stupid dune buggy, yeah.
All right, let's move on to DS9. We have, before we get the Defiant, I believe we have the Type 10 shuttle, or this is the Defiance shuttle. I forget how this works. Oh, it's the weird-looking one. It looks like a shop vac. It looks like a little vacuum cleaner, like a dustbuster nose.
I don't ever remember seeing this.
I forget where it comes up, but I did find it. And so I think it must be the shuttle that goes with the Defiant.
Because it's got her registry on it.
Yeah, the registry number.
And it also has her nose.
That thing, it's like, it's probably the one shuttle. It probably is kind of like the captain's yacht. It's just attached in somewhere, because there is no room for a proper shuttle bay on that ship.
You can get a whole runabout in the Defiant as long as it's shrunk down very tiny.
True.
That's what they usually do, yeah.
It does feel like it definitely exists as an extension of the Defiant. Like, this is a shuttle you're only going to see with Defiant class vessels. It's not something they give. It's even got Defiant looking nacelles even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It does.
Yeah, I think it's kind of dopey looking. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it looks like basically you took that little front bit off of the Defiant and made it a ship.
Yeah.
So it looks incomplete. It's very strange.
Well, it grows up into a Defiant. This is the baby.
It looks like they kit bashed a TNG shuttle model and a Defiant model.
Yes, it does.
Probably exactly what they did.
I love that. I love that. What else do we have in Deep Space Nine? We have the Type 18 shuttle. Oh, which is stupid looking.
What is that?
I don't know.
That looks like Lone Star's like RV camper ship.
Oh no! It looks like it. I know what you're thinking. It looks like the Vespa's Mercedes.
That
right,
is what
that's
it looks
what it
like.
is.
Yeah, because his ship's just
it also
a Winnebago.
kind of vaguely looks like Dark Helmet's
helmet.
Well, I was gonna say his
his pith
specifically
helmet?
his pith helmet.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
No, it's definitely Princess Vespa's Mercedes.
Yeah, this is a strange shaped thing because it's almost like sombrero shaped because it's got this.
I feel like you could.
It's got these like.
Oh, go ahead, Ames. Sorry.
I'm struggling to describe this fucking thing because it's like it's got like hip pads that it's wearing hip pads.
It looks almost like it's got the sort of the like a hovercraft skirt.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it. Like a bumper car.
It feels like a reject from the motion picture.
It does. Or a submarine or something. Like
if you told me this was an Aqua shuttle, I believe you.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like an F-Zero car.
A little bit
from the front.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm just thinking the aesthetic of this does not go with the rest of Deep Space Nine.
And again, I don't remember ever seeing this.
Yeah, no. It was probably in the background once or twice.
Some Inspector Gadget bullshit.
Or it almost looks like it would be more at home in the 70s Battlestar Galactica than Star Trek.
They wouldn't have it be so pure white, though.
True.
Everything in that show is like slimy and gray.
I'll throw some dirt on it. And,
yeah. Yeah, so this thing's very strange.
Yeah.
I'd have to look up where we see it, but it says Defiant on the side of it. USS Defiant shuttle, some number.
Weird.
So, yeah, neat. All right, we're going to jump to Voyager, where we have the Type 8 shuttle, which looks just a lot like a lot of the other shuttles we saw in TNG.
Yeah, just kind of a little more streamlined with new nacelles.
I like that it kind of looks like it could land like a seaplane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the rounded.
Smaller.
It did, yeah.
It's also got an overbite like the Planet Express ship.
Oh, it does have an overbite. That's cute.
Oh, it's very cute.
The matte graining shuttle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, I know we talked about in Threshold, we have the Cochrane, which is a Type 9 shuttle or a Class 2 shuttle. They're interchangeable. Don't ask me. I don't fucking know. But it's more pointy, and it looks kind of like a phaser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, the Dustbuster style.
Yeah, only giant.
Very Dustbuster.
Yeah, if you snapped off the nacelles,
it would just
be a dustbuster. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of feels like an extension of the Intrepid class itself. It's got the little, weird mini deflector in the nose, kind of like the secondary deflector the Voyager has on its saucer.
Mm-hmm.
And also, even though it's kind of big-ish, but at the same time, the actual cockpit area is not that large, so it's, again, mostly just for transporting people, not a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder, though, because, there's this design element here, which you can see in the shot from where it's landed, that there's, this whole back section that I wonder if they could hook onto something else that could slot in there.
That'd be smart.
Yeah.
and be like a cargo pod.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
a second room.
Yeah,
like a trailer.
like components that are easily swappable.
Porta potty.
Yeah,
I was thinking you could
that
drive
would be
the
a
Knight
useful
Rider car
thing.
into it.
Like if you could just have a shuttle, like all your important shit, the cockpit and warp engines and all the shit that you want on your shuttle can be in like this section, and then if you need to haul something, you just hitch it up.
Yeah. Like a bike tow. All right. We're also going to mention the Delta Flyer, which we saw a whole bunch this week. It did its little fly thing. And yeah, it's a cute little wedge. It's very triangular-y.
It's got that funny window.
Oh, I think my favorite thing about it is the window, just because it almost looks kind of Cardassian-y.
True.
Because it's got interesting shapes built in to what would be like a screen or something.
Yeah.
It looks very impractical, or like form over function. I don't know why you would want that window, but
I mean, it's Tom.
yeah, it's a Tom thing probably.
It's
I
a
could
Tom
say
Parrish joint.
maybe it needed something to keep its structure whilst flying, and Tom decided to also make it pretty, like a stained glass window.
Yes.
It's got a very cool
and like
smiley...
I like how they highlight that. Oh, it's got Borgy shit. It's
Yeah.
Borgy. It's got Borgy parts.
You can tell because they're green.
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah, I like the Borgy parts. The Borgy parts are pretty cool. Were you saying it has a little smile, Caitlin?
Yeah, it looks like it's smiling and wearing really cool sunglasses.
Ah!
So it's very hip.
It's got a little smile, just like Voyager, with her.
Yay! Cute. That's the Delta Flyer. We have one more thing I wanted to look up from Voyager, and that's whatever the fuck this thing is. This we see an Endgame. So minor spoils for Endgame. We're going to see another ship. It again looks kind of like a phaser or a dustbuster.
Yeah, it looks like the next version of the other shuttle that they had.
Yeah, but this one comes with armor if you want.
Yeah, the ablative armor, very cool.
So that'll be fun to look forward to, getting a nice armor shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Otherwise, very much like Type 2, the Class 2, Type X, whatever the fuck the other thing we saw was.
Like I called it, yeah.
All right, on to Enterprise. Just a couple more ships to look at, and then we can wrap this up. We have this inspection pod, which I thought was very cute because it just looks like the capsule off of a rocket ship.
Well, it specifically looks like the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does. But it's a really short thing, and it's kind of like that little shuttle-y thing that we took to go board the Enterprise in the motion picture, in that it's just a small thing that all it's meant to do is scoot around until it's done scooting around.
Yeah.
I like that it's still number 5.
Oh, is it? Oh, shit, it is.
I wonder if that's an homage.
It's funny, too, because in the drawing version, it's 6, but the model, it's 5.
No, yeah.
So they had to go out of their way to make sure.
Well, that or there's multiples.
But also that very much that sort of Enterprise aesthetic of like you can kind of see more of the functional parts.
Yeah, I like that about Enterprise.
I think it looks like they broke something off of the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
Or that.
Yeah, it's clear that it docks to things.
Yeah.
And they did a good job conveying that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I believe this is the last one. This is Enterprise Pod, they call it. It kind of looks like a Cyclops. It's got a bubble window, which is really fun.
This is another funny little speedboat kind of looking thing.
Yeah, it's like a little submarine. It's very cute.
I mean, we see a lot of this in Enterprise.
We do.
Oh, that's good, because I like it.
Yeah, they barely use the transporter because it's like new tech and
early
everyone's
days.
afraid of it.
Right.
Yeah, rightly so. Fuck
As
that.
well they should be. Jesus. Well, I like this thing.
They use the pods a lot.
Yeah.
I like the purple. Is that what that is over there?
I don't know where you're looking.
On the top right, it looks like it's got some like blue or purple.
Oh yeah, that looks to be a Starfleet like staff version.
Yeah, NC-05. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, maybe it's just in the game or something. Or it's just a
Maybe.
prototype. Well, whatever, fuck it. I didn't like
knows?
that much.
Still cool.
Yeah, it's cute. I can see it being like the predecessor to things like much earlier on. It's possibly more rounded than any of the things we see from this kind of era, but...
Well, I think because they like with this, they definitely still have to have a lot of plain aesthetics. they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be going to atmosphere a lot, and we don't have as much in the way of like fancy deflectors and anti-grav yet, so it has to be more aerodynamic-ish, kind of, if you squint.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how they got from here to the Galileo, but, with
there's a century in between.
Suspension of disbelief, all that thing. I don't think we can play Pick Your Favorite because I'm not going to remember the names of any of these fucking things. Class
They're
F, Class
hideous.
Y.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like any of them, so it's a very easy game.
I hate the Argo on principle.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can pretty easily give my favorite to the Delta Flyer. Just looking at them all together,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's prettiest.
I didn't notice though the weird little Defiant shuttle does have the little rear kickstand landing foot like the Galileo.
Oh, it does. I like
Okay.
that. Yeah, because otherwise I think that one is the goofiest looking one.
Yeah.
I'm torn. Like I hate the Argo on principle, but that weird bulbous TNG one is so strange.
Oh, the whale one.
Yeah, the whaley froggy boy.
Yeah, the weird submarine thing from DS9 is pretty low on my list too.
Kind of strange, yeah.
That's a bizarre one.
The little pod from TMP gets special credit just because of if you freeze frame at one point, you can see Doohan staring daggers at Shatner, and it's hysterical. Like it's supposed to be this moment, two old friends seeing each other. Here's the new ship, but Doohan slipped and was just like, "You fucking prick."
Yep. So everybody else can see these up on our Tumblr. Make sure that you are definitely following us on sshbpodcast.com, where we have lots of other great blogtivities for you to play with. You can look at all the shuttle pods. You can look at, we've done ships in the past. Lots and lots and lots of weeks worth of ships to look at, among other different topics that we like to do. Check us out there. You can also check out more of us next week doing our talking part of the program when we're covering more Voyager. So the episodes next week are Repression and Critical Care. That should be a good week. So listen to that on whatever pod thing you listen to. They're all the same. They all do the same thing. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, which are not the same. Those are a different thing. But you can chat with us on those. And you can shuttle on out. Shuttle on out. This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
This be Jake.
And as always, Chris.
I said shuttle out.
Me. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Oh no. The Jack is back.
The Jack is back?
You know that episode where they get Serena
Jack.
to talk again?
No.
Oh God!
And then they freestyle a whole bunch of Doa deer, a female deer.
I think we should learn that whole thing and do it, and release it as a bonus
as
content.
torture content.
Boner content.
You two have fun with that.
I would be on board.
Well, you can sing.
Caitlin and
you
Jake
are the two
sing
that can
the
sing.
Star Trek oldies.
Why
We could
couldn't
do
they
it
have killed them
crooner
off?
style, like Michael
Oh my
Bublé
God,
or
why?
something.